I think we haven't watched this video. I clicked on it before, but I'm sure I haven't watched it. And but I think we're gonna watch it together now. Dipshy will also remember that we haven't watched this. If we watched it before, she would tell me, but apparently not. I just clicked on it a long ago because I wanted to check what is this video, and I wanted to put it in the watch list. So I didn't, but now we have it here. Okay. We're still doing the cooking brick? No. Note that we don't have cooking bricks. Not like before, because my sister is actually in Iran right now. And she just went back home to my mom. And I don't need to cook like before. But still, I need to eat, So maybe the time going to be a bit different. But still we have it. We watched 2 before, BTS versus Spotify and why Army don't like K-pop. Okay, very nice. But yeah, I actually cooked my chicken like last night. I ate it last night as dinner, and now I have something prepared from the last night in the refrigerator. So I don't need to just cook it, but I need to warm it up a bit, and then I need to prepare something else. So after watching this video, I'm gonna go and cook for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Then I will be here. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, let's start the video. The next BTS, why they fail every time. So let me tell you something. I don't know. It might hurt your feelings. Maybe you just tell me that you don't know how to articulate your thoughts into good words that do not offend people. But I want to tell you the truth. The possibility of a group to become next BTS is not zero. So, it's possible. And when we say that, you may say, yeah, maybe chances are rare. It's possible, of course. Things like this and like that. Yeah, nothing is impossible. But by saying that, I mean the chances, it's possible and it's high. It's not that low. But there is very little details that BTS has as a secret that if you crack those secrets, you can become as popular as BTS, but it takes time, energy, and effort. So if you just put those 3 into the perspective and you add a bit of smart work, not only hard work, smart work, you can become the next BTS. But secrets are not easy to crack, right? It's not easy. But it's not hard as well. It takes time. If you put the effort, you can crack the secret. People can crack secret, but can't form the band BTS as with Army. Nah. Army is one of the secret. So, I mean, when you crack the secret, you can crack everything. All right, so the possibility is quite good. It's in a good rate. But you need good, it's good effort, dedication, good people with good energy, plus smart work. That smart work is something that not everybody have. And it's not easy to have the smart work. People always put the hard work in there and it's never going to work. Or only people put the smart work in there and they never put the hard work. But BTS had it all together. It seems like they had the trifecta of go and get it. Hard work, smart work, and pure personalities, like people who are genuine. It's possible to form the next BTS. It's possible, but yeah, lots of things in the world is possible, but nobody's doing it. So I just wanted you to know that it's not really hard to get there, but who knows? Maybe not next BTS, but next opportunity to be better, I bet. I mean, by next BTS, not to become BTS. I mean, BTS has some achievements, awards, position, power. These are all the things the BTS has. The next BTS gonna get all four, for instance. Not becoming the next band. Like, of course, if you form the band in Iran, you're not gonna perform music from South Korea, so you're not gonna become the next BTS. But with the music of your own country, with the music of your own nation, your own culture, from any country, even you don't. But you need a band. You need a band. Yeah, a good band can become as great as BTS. But next ARMY, possible. Like, dude, there are musicians out there that people truly love them, but they don't call them ARMY. Yeah. Yeah, never is a big word. Everything is possible in the world. Yeah, it might. I told you it might hurt your feeling, but yeah, because ARMY is formula. I don't want to crack too much code here. I want to keep my secret to myself. Look, let me show you something. You know this guy, right? You know this guy, Jimmy.
I built two.
If you don't know him, I can simply Google him and you can know them much more clearly. Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, is an American YouTuber. He's credited with pioneering a genre of YouTube videos that centers on expensive stunts. He's only 24 years old, Jimmy Donaldson, from Wichita, Kansas, United States. And look at here. He's only one person. He has 127 million subscribers on YouTube. He's way bigger than any individual on YouTube. It's like, but he does not call anybody ARMY. So I'm just saying, yes, the name ARMY, the concept ARMY is really big, but I'm saying you can have a very big fandom and not calling them ARMY, but that doesn't mean that those people are not really your ARMY. People are. I mean, it's like maybe Jimmy Donaldson is one of the people that everybody love him, and nobody dislike him. Nobody gonna just say, bad things about Jimmy, because he's a very big-hearted guy in the world, trying to do the good things. He's helping everybody. He's donating millions of foods and money to random people around the world to just help them. I'm saying if this guy put a name out there that his followers want to become that name gonna be much more bigger than what you can think of. Yeah, ARMY is because BTS is doing music. This guy is doing philanthropy. Yeah. And the bonds when it comes to music, it's much more stronger than just people to people and talk to talk and philanthropy and stuff like that. Yes, the form is different. But I'm telling you, ARMY is possible as well. But with another name. I'm just saying, I cracked the code. First, I thought it's impossible. But after a while, watching people, how that's even happened, I'm telling you, it's possible. I'm just talking about the stats here. I hate when others say next BTS, but I can agree if somebody say I want to be better than BTS. Yeah, next BTS doesn't necessarily mean becoming the same band. It's a concept. Like, they went a lot bigger than just a name. They became a concept. All right, we say next BTS only to show that people can get to the same position, not becoming the same band. It's just like useless to become something that does already exist. Yeah. I really love if there's a chance for people and idol growth together. Yeah. Army functions different than everyone else, no matter if they're bigger fandoms. Yes, possible to be the same, not possible, I mean. Yeah, I mean, like, becoming the same is just useless. If any band in the world want to become something that's already existed before, it's just useless. They're never gonna get there. Yeah. Imagine if BTS wanted to become what? They couldn't become BTS, you know? They had a vision, they got there. But they wanted to be something. They wanted to be big, and they became big. They wanted to have a big fandom. They got it. I mean, the concept of getting there. So yeah, if you want to become the next BTS, the BTS, it's impossible. But if you want to become the BTS, the concept BTS, yeah, it's possible. And era will change. Definitely, it takes decade of dedication. Sure, era will change. Comparison or useless? Yes, I could have worded it better. Yes. Okay, yeah, era will definitely change. Yeah. Generation will change. I mean, like, what are you talking about? It's just not an era. It's about a generation. Yeah, the new generation will gonna, like, just look at yourself. Look at yourself as a generation. You love BTS, but what about 10 years ago? Did you know BTS? Not all of you. How about 20 years ago? Who were you following the most? Not necessarily BTS. They weren't even formed 20 years ago. But you had your own favorite musicians, and now imagine 10 years later from now, or 20 years later from now. BTS will gonna be BTS, but there will be other musicians out there that are gonna just, they're just passing the torch to each other. One time it was Beatles. I was like back in the 80s. World were a fan of Pink Floyd, and Pink Floyd had the biggest army in the whole history. Queen had the biggest army in the world. Like most of the, it's like when we're talking about fandom, when we're talking about Metallica, they had a concert. I think they had the biggest concert in the history. Like, biggest concert in the history. It belongs to Metallica, right? Or not? Oh, Rob Stewart. Rob Stewart holds the current world record for the largest concert performance. He performed on Copacabana Beach on New Year's Eve in 1994 for 3.5 million people. I think the next one is going to be something like Metallica. So things like, legends are legend unless the world give another legend. Definitely. So the next BTS means the concept and not the same band. They already did it. Like, it's an exposed idea. Don't ever chase the exposed ideas. Go for a new one. But anyway, why they fail every time? Only because they want to become the next BTS, right?
BTS were already well established as the biggest group in the world. 2 years after their American TV debut had already passed, and their success only kept growing. The name BTS was associated with some of the biggest names in the music industry. This helped K-pop grow as a whole, but BTS were the only ones in the spotlight in the Western music industry. The K-pop industry noticed this, so SM, one of the biggest entertainment agencies in South Korea, had the idea to create a supergroup formed of the 7 most popular members of some of the most popular K-pop groups, and promoted them as the Avengers of K-pop. This way, their success was supposed to be guaranteed, and their chances of becoming the next BTS were bigger than the chances of the hundreds of other K-pop groups also trying to level with the success of BTS. This supergroup did everything they could. Their label SM Entertainment partnered with the US label Capitol Records. Their debut stage was in Hollywood. Their TV debut was on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. They also performed on Jimmy Kimmel. Their premiere event was in Los Angeles and had American press. Their debut album had 8 different versions, 1 regular version and 1 individual edition for each of the 7 members, and they started an American tour right away. All of this promotion helped them get a #1 on the Billboard 200 albums charts, making them the second Korean act to top the chart, only after BTS. This made Los Angeles Times and entertainment companies predict that this group was going to be the next BTS. But there was something weird. Outside of the K-pop sphere, no one really knew about them. They were everywhere, and their album was #1, but the songs of the album were nowhere to be found on song charts like the Billboard Hot 100, or even in the top 20 of the bubbling under Hot 100. And right after their album debuted at #1, it disappeared from the top 10. Their second album had a similar story. The Avengers of K-pop performed in American TV shows and even partnered with Marvel for limited edition merchandise. But their album debuted at #2 with none of its songs charting on the Hot 100. This was only one of the multiple failed next BTS attempts, whether they are Korean girl groups or Korean boy groups. Year after year, Korean entertainment agencies and American music labels have been trying to replicate BTS's success.
You guys are the biggest boy band in the world.
It's not a secret that the K-pop industry has been studying BTS's popularity for years. An industry official said, "Right now, the biggest concern in the K-pop industry is who will make the next BTS, so all attention is focused on the performance of the United States." The entertainment agency's main strategy to set the narrative that their group is the actual next BTS is to hyper-focus on getting one or two achievements that BTS previously had. But since this is almost impossible, they go out of their way to find strategies in which they can be named together, hoping that people won't bother to know the context. One example is album sales. BTS are the second group only after the Beatles to get 3 #1 albums in less than a year. This phrase was everywhere.
And they just became the first group since the Beatles to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year.
This is a very hard record for K-pop or for any artist to achieve, but getting at least one #1 album may be enough to be named in the same conversation as BTS. So although these groups cannot have an organic #1 album because of lack of demand in the US, they still can sell multiple versions of the same album with different pictures that fans can collect at a very small price. This will lead to a lot of album sales, but not song sales or streams. So the normal thing for a real #1 album is to have at least one top 10 song or multiple songs on the Billboard Hot 100, because if an album is popular, then at least one song of the album has to be popular. This doesn't happen with K-pop albums because they are not actually big in the US, but that doesn't matter. These groups technically have a #1 or a #2 album, so entertainment agencies will use this to pretend like they will be the next BTS because they have the same achievement. Another example, BTS are one of the few artists who can sell out stadium tours these days. This is something extremely hard even for the biggest Western artists you can imagine. So K-pop's strategy to pretend like they also have a stadium tour is to have at least one concert in places like the Bank of California Stadium, which doesn't actually have a stadium capacity. It has an arena capacity of only 20,000 people. A stadium is just part of the arena venue's name. An actual stadium tour, like BTS's tours, is composed of multiple concerts in stadiums with 40,000 to 80,000 seats in each concert. So thanks to media play, other K-pop groups can be named as the next BTS because they are supposedly having stadium tours when they are actually performing in arenas, theaters, and one arena venue that has a stadium in its name. These type of strategies are very common. Whenever BTS does something, the K-pop industry focuses on that something. This is why K-pop groups started submitting their work to the Grammys only after BTS started getting nominations to the Grammys. And not only that, but if BTS is nominated to Best Pop Duo Group Performance, the media's attention is on Best Pop Duo Group Performance. So K-pop groups submit their songs for this category. One of the latest BTS Grammy nominations is for Best Music Video. This is a new achievement for them because they've never been nominated for this category. So I can assure you that next year, K-pop groups will start submitting their music videos for this category, and the media will drop predictions saying that they will also be nominated because the industry only goes after what BTS already has. All of these were the next BTS K-pop attempts. But what about Western attempts? In a video I made some time ago, I went through the multiple attempts of creating the next big boy band after One Direction. And these attempts came around 2016 and 2017, when BTS were rising to popularity in the West and were named the biggest group in the world. However, I don't think these new boy bands were trying to be the next BTS, because BTS were fairly new and BTS were seen as a fluke or a weird phenomenon that will last probably 1 or 2 years. years. But year after year passed by, and the multiple new Western boy bands, which were backed by the biggest Western music labels, kept failing trying to surpass BTS. And not even the biggest comebacks of popular old boy bands could compete against BTS. So in 2019, Simon Cowell, the creator of One Direction, had the amazing idea of creating a new British group that would become bigger than BTS, and said that his UK pop group will destroy the K-pop group which is ruling the world.
We're going to try and find either the biggest boy group in the world or the biggest girl group in the world. We've done it before, we're going to do it again. Right now, K-pop, you could argue, is ruling the world. Now, it's time for UK pop.
So his singing show The X Factor had a special season called The X Factor The Band, dedicated to group together a boy band and a girl band. These two groups would then compete against each other, and the winner would get a record deal with Simon Cowell's label Psycho Music, release their debut album, and become the biggest group in the world. In the end, the boy band Simon created ended up losing the show, not signing to Psycho Music, and breaking up a few months after their creation. The girl group did get a record deal with Psycho Music, but they never released a debut album, and one of the 6 members left the group to pursue a solo career. In 2022, they left Psycho Music, signed to Warner Records, and another member left the group. Another attempt of creating the next BTS failed once again.
The American Music Award goes to
The latest attempt of finding the next BTS joined the forces of the K-pop industry and the biggest representative of the Western music industry, Billboard. The K-Billboard Awards was an event organized by the K-Culture Festival and Billboard, which attempted to highlight the biggest achievements of K-pop artists based on the Billboard charts. The organizer said, "This is part of our mission to find the next BTS. We will strictly adhere to Billboard's point system." But do you know what happens when you adhere to Billboard's point system? BTS wins. So they also named the second place as the winners, continuing their strategy to associate K-pop groups with BTS, even when the gap between first and second place is abysmal.
There's been so many legends to walk through this door. There's been Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, Dean Martin, and now we have, wait for it, the Avengers of K-pop.
SM's founder, Lee Sung-man, was the one with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop, and this was one of his multiple attempts of creating the next BTS. But since he fails every time, at some point, the media started naming him as the mastermind behind BTS, when he literally had zero relation to the group. He was actually managing groups that tried to directly compete against BTS. But he is not the only one. The 3 biggest K-pop labels are pushing the idea that their groups are actually the next BTS. SM had the Avengers of K-pop, but since they are on a hiatus, he is now pushing a 4-member girl group to become the future of K-pop. YG is using media play and allegedly buying awards in small American award shows to pretend like his biggest girl group is on the same level as BTS. And most recently, JYP had Korean media suddenly releasing multiple articles naming his group as the next BTS. I don't think this is a coincidence. This all seems like premeditated media play. But how is it that they keep failing, even with all the media play they can get? I found some common factors in their failed attempts. First is lack of originality. If BTS releases an album trilogy about self-love and acceptance, K-pop starts singing about self-love and acceptance.
Love yourself.
This is ridiculous.
If BTS releases a song like Fake
This is
Love,
so
K-pop
stupid,
groups immediately
unbelievable.
release songs with a dark aesthetic. BTS stops the dark aesthetic and releases Boy With Love. K-pop groups release songs with a pink aesthetic. BTS releases a song titled Life Goes On. K-pop releases Life Is Still Going On. BTS releases Smooth Like Butter. K-pop releases Sweet Like Mango. And these are just trivial examples that don't really matter much.
This is
The key
so
here
stupid.
is lack of originality.
chasing.
K-pop does the same thing over and over again, and that is not necessarily a bad thing for a K-pop audience. But if you keep trying to make this work in a Western audience, you will keep failing. Number 2 is trying to be unique in the wrong aspect. When the next BTS attempts actually try to be original, they sometimes try to be original in everything but the music. An example of this is SM's attempt of creating a metaverse group with 4 members who are real people and 4 members who are their virtual alter alter egos. So producers are not trying to find unique, interesting artists with new, rare, or just not so common musical elements. They are trying to create groups that are different in aspects that music fans don't care about. I personally think that the Avengers of K-pop idea was not the worst idea ever, but they focused too much on everything except for the music. SM tried to sell the idea that this group's unique aspect was that, unlike BTS and the others, the members had a manly man aesthetic. But who cares if they look like masculine men with black clothes who are called the Avengers when their music is this?
You know how you get down, drop it, how we get down, drop it. We keep it jumping and popping here all night.
By the way, if you like this song, it's completely fine. I'm just saying that I think we can all understand why it didn't succeed in America. So once they failed, they left the manly man aesthetic and went back to the first mistake. Right after BTS released their first English single Dynamite and sang about shining through the city and being like Diamond, this group changed Diamond for Gold and sang in English about shining bright like gold. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with following music trends, but if that's all you do, you won't stand out, especially when you're trying so hard to create the next BTS. Number 3 is the lack of raw talent. Pretty people singing with loud pre-recorded vocals or playback are almost a rule in K-pop, but that won't work if you want to be the next BTS and you're debuting in America.
We holla 두렵지 않아 너 희토하던 광각들이 점점 너를 구축할 이유가
K-pop is prioritizing looks way more than it should be. YG admitted that his biggest girl group was just a prettier version of a previous girl group. He said, "If you ask me to distinguish my new group from my last group, I want to say I did not try to make them different. If you ask me what differentiates them from other girl groups, I will say I did not form them with that in mind. I tried to make a girl group like I did with my previous girl group, but this time I wanted the girls to look pretty too. I won't pretend like looks don't matter in the Western music industry, because they do, but good looks and a nice aesthetic is not enough. Korean labels need to start prioritizing at least a little of talent and passion for music." Finally, I think the next BTS attempts keep failing because music labels are obsessed with control and being the main character. I think they want to control all of their group's steps because the CEOs want to be recognized for finding and paying the best songwriters in the industry, instead of encouraging their interpreters to be artists. I think this is why JYP had articles putting his picture on his group's articles, so he can be called the mastermind behind the next BTS. This is also why SM was everywhere saying that he was the one with the idea of creating the Avengers of K-pop and the Metaverse group.
I want to take the time to acknowledge a very special guest we have in the building. We have producer, Mr. Suman Lee.
That's not what BTS's label did, and that's not what Namjoon did as the leader of BTS. They let the group shine as a group. With that said, I don't think it's necessarily bad that the producers behind a group explain the process of creating a group, but the focus should be on the group and their music, not on the CEOs. Number 5 is not accepting that BTS are way too out of their league. This person tweeted, "It all boils down to these labels refusing to accept that BTS is not just a K-pop group anymore. They are talked about in actual pop conversations. They have solidified a legacy. They are literally worldwide A-listers, global artists. Music labels make every move based off the fact that, well, they are a K-pop group, so the world must all love and want more K-pop. And that's just not how it works. That's why they keep failing." So I guess if you as a producer or record label really want to create or be the mastermind behind the next BTS in terms of popularity, you need to look for very unique artists that are not necessarily going to be part of a group like BTS. I may be saying complete nonsense now because I'm not a record producer or anything like that, but the actual record producers and analysts have been studying BTS closely for years.
Sorry? Okay.
They keep failing. So this is just what a simple music fan like me would do. Number 1, if you want to create the next big artist in America, you need to first focus on the music. Looks are great, but every single K-pop group has good looks. You need to step up your music game. You cannot debut in America with a song about being the best at jumping.
You have to tell me what jopping means.
Jumping?
Yes.
And Puppy.
Shopping, of course. Why did I ask?
Number 2, and this also applies to Western attempts, don't be mediocre and lazy. The reason why every single attempt of the next big boy band failed in 2016 and 2017, and also the reason why the comeback of all boy bands failed too, was because they were extremely mediocre when compared to BTS. This is the main reason why it's highly unlikely to find the next BTS, because BTS did not only set the bar extremely high for K-pop, but also for the Western music industry. So stop comparing yourself to BTS, because that is a game that you are going to lose. Number 3, and this is for music labels, be patient. The Beatles, Michael Jackson, Queen, and BTS did not become the biggest artists in the world with their first release. Don't try to force or fake a big debut when it really isn't a big debut. And more importantly, don't be like Simon Cowell or SM and abandon your group when the media play didn't work. Small debuts are not necessarily a bad thing. The ones trying to create the next BTS are some of the biggest labels. So instead of spending all this money in fake achievements and media play, try to spend this money in keeping your group alive as long as you can, so they can musically and artistically grow. Number 4, be different. If you really want to have a big debut like Olivia Rodrigo or Justin Bieber, look for what the music industry is missing, not what it already has. When Olivia Rodrigo debuted, the industry didn't have a Disney star sing about her love life for years. And when Justin Bieber debuted, he became the first teenage heartthrob born on the internet. Find something different, because BTS's level of artistry takes years to replicate. BTS did not have a huge debut in South Korea, but when they entered the Western music industry, they had already perfected for more than 4 years artistic elements that the Western music industry didn't see before. In other words, to find the next BTS, you need to stop trying to find the next BTS.
Yeah, sure. She was right.
You may think that right now is the right time to create the next BTS, because BTS are not releasing music as a 7-member group for the next 2 years. But the fact that they are still planning to release a lot of music during this time is not a good sign to continue creating groups that resemble them. The Backstreet Boys took a 4-year hiatus, and during this time, no other boy band could become as big or bigger than them. And BTS's level of performance and music, as well as worldwide popularity, is even bigger and harder to replicate than the one of the Backstreet Boys. This is how hard it will forever be to replicate BTS. Even if the BTS members release no music at all during this time or any other time in the future, that actually leaves K-pop at disadvantage in the Western music industry, because all the hype around K-pop is born with an interest in BTS. K-pop's achievements in the West are not K-pop's achievements, they are BTS's achievements. So if BTS stops being BTS, K-pop will definitely be bigger than what they were before 2017. But they will go back to being a niche interest, because the ones giving K-pop the title of mainstream are BTS only. Without them, K-pop has no legendary records in the West. I know it's hard to believe because of all the media play that exists trying to devalue BTS's popularity and art, but musical acts like BTS are once in a lifetime. We don't know if the next big thing is even going to be a group from South Korea or a boy band from the UK. By the way things are going on right now, there are more chances of having the next big legendary artist come from a Spanish-speaking country, and there are way more chances for these legendary artists to be a soloist, but that would only happen by promoting the artist as their own authentic self. And this is something that BTS is doing right now while they release solo albums. So it looks like the next BTS is BTS, not only because their comeback in 2025 will be extremely hard to match, but also it looks like all the K-pop categories in Western award shows will go for BTS members either way. Even in South Korea, J-Hope, the only BTS member who has released a solo album until now, already has 6 award nominations, including Song of the Year and Artist of the Year, against himself in BTS. So stop trying to find the next BTS, because number 1, BTS is still here, and number 2, you're setting your groups up for failure. Music labels, K-pop fans, and the media need to wake up and stop humiliating their groups like this.
Okay, I am extremely disagree with this part. So 20 minutes everything was okay, but alright, so let me tell you one thing. In life, if you ever stop trying, you're gonna betray yourself and every cell's in your body. So it says, so stop trying to find the next BTS, because BTS is still here. That's true. That's 100% true. No problem with that. BTS is still here, and if in your life you're trying to be something that already exists, that's so wrong. So you have to set your own standards, not because you can't become the next BTS, but because BTS has a character which is so special to BTS, not anything else. So we people, we're all so different from each other, and back to our talents and our capabilities, nobody can become somebody else. We only can achieve the same amount of awards and reputation by being ourselves. So we can get to the same position, but not the same group. So if you want to do what BTS do, like those stupid things that we just watched in this video that band from SM were replicating the whole thing that BTS is doing, that was stupid, man. That was the worst idea ever. I personally do not, support such thing, because having the same copycatting is the worst thing ever. It's even worse than plagiarism. Like, you can plagiarize and I think for a moment that you're a genius, but copycatting shows definitely you're an idiot. So you can be a thief. It's much more better than being an idiot. But the second part is so not true. It says you're setting...
Still here. And number 2, you're setting your groups up.
Your group up for failure. That's so wrong. You can form a group. You can have the same standards. You can have the same goals, and you can go towards it. Nobody knows. Because when BTS formed, they never knew that they're going to be this big. It just happened because they had a vision, they had a road, they had their dreams, and they moved towards it. You can have the same dreams. I can just pick up an instrument and I tell myself, I want to become the next BTS. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to copy the BTS. I'm not going to copycatting. I'm going for the same concept that they went for, like becoming as great as possible, having a very great community, having a fandom like ARMY. Like maybe I'm going towards that way with the hope of becoming as much as popular and lovable, just like BTS, but not the same BTS. Definitely not. And it says,
failure. Music label,
K-pop fans, and the media need to wake up and stop humiliating their groups. That's very wrong. Yes, I mean, the thing that SM does, definitely they have to wake up. Definitely they have to wake up. But if people are setting up people or groups to get to somewhere, keep doing that. Never stop trying. So words have meanings and powers. And if you just think about it, if you ever stop trying in your life for whatever reason, if you're using those words in your life, you're not going to get anywhere. Try. Why? Because imagine if SM want to have the next BTS or Simon Cowell want to have the next BTS, first thing first, they should set up a band. They should go for the failure. Failure is the next success. Without failing, you will never gonna... Dude, I mean, like, when you're calling yourself ARMY, you should be very well aware of the situation the BTS wanted to disband long ago. They kept trying and trying and trying only because they got some very good lessons from their failures. Let's finish the video.
K-pop fans and the media need to wake up and stop humiliating their groups like this. Let your performers become artists. Let them be small so they can grow. And let them grow organically. Because that was BTS's story. And they did not become the next somebody. They became the first BTS.
사실 저는 그 제2의 방탄소년단, 제2의 뭐뭐가 좀 존재하지 않는다고 생각을 해요, 저희도.
And I totally disagree with this. I think there is no next BTS. I think there will be next BTS. It's going to be there. It's totally possible. But first thing first, you should know the BTS went through such a hard time and they survived. They only are here only because they survived. If they were about to disband a long time ago, none of us would hear about the bands, because just look at the graveyards of musicians, great musicians that never went to the very first step. BTS were so lucky that we're together for 4 years before thinking about disbanding. Before thinking about it. Mostly legends, just like unknown legends, weren't even get there, like that 4 years of chance. So I'm telling you, there are a lot of elements, luck, opportunities, plans. We're in line that we have BTS here. This is pure luck in the world of media, in history, and music, because it's so hard to compete to get to number one. There is not one band or one person that want to get number one. There are millions. All right, so BTS is the winner. Truly, they had plans, they had hard work, they had a smart work, they had everything. They got the army. They had all the thing that they could possibly get their hands on, and they tried and they survived. That's the hard part, to survive, to bear with the band, to just trying to get along and not really going to disappoint at any stage. Like J-Hope were saying, he wanted to leave. He just came back. They wanted to disband. They just went there. They stayed. They didn't do anything. They continued working, and all of a sudden, at the very end of the story that they wanted to disband, they won an award, and the warmth of future just got back to the band, and they start doing it for real one more time. So you have no idea that how hard it would be to get there, but they were lucky as well. There won't be a next BTS, there will be a next big thing. Sure, I'm saying the next BTS not necessarily means becoming BTS again. BTS is a concept here. As a grown-ups, you can understand it. The next BTS is a concept that we're talking about. We don't want to become the next BTS. We want to get to the same concept. Hear what Cyrus says about being the next BTS, and what the video is saying is different. And I agree with both. Yeah. So the video said, do not try to become this band. This band is still here. Just leave the idea. That's true. Totally agree with that. Copycatting and whatever that they explain in there is just super stupid. When I just saw it, I just shocked. If I was a supervisor of SM Entertainment and they wanted to do that, I was just like, dude, what the hell are you doing here? They're never gonna work. It's never. You're just gonna humiliate yourself, just the way that video explained. So you need a lot more smart work than what they were doing. Sweet like mango. Like how stupid that idea is. Unbelievable. BTS didn't try to be somebody. Exactly. That's the secret. Didn't have the media played thing there the next time. Exactly. That's the exact secret sauce here. They didn't want it to go there to become the next BTS. They had their own vision. Like, when you're a very small musician, I've been there myself. I am there actually myself now. Like you just want to do music for music. I like to compose my album only to hear myself and my family. I want to show my mom that all these years that I fought with her, that I want to become a musician. This is the album, Mom. I made this for you. I want to do it for her, for instance. I want to do it for myself. I want to do it for my brother. Like he barely even listened to music. That I want to just make something. I just get this track. Just listen to it. I made this for you. I made this track for my sister that she supported me all my life to get my first instrument. Like I want to do music for my family. I want to do music for my friends. I want to do music for myself. I like to hear myself composing. I want to just do something. And all of a sudden, what you compose is going to be something that other people's like it as well. And they're telling you, dude, you're doing great. Will you do more? And you're just like, yeah, why not? I'm going to keep making music. So this is the concept in my country. There are a lot of problems. Let me just make a song for that. Let me make a song for myself. I have some problem with myself. Let me just write a song for my dark side. Let me just write a song for whatever that I see. I go to different trips, vacations, countries, wherever, meeting different people. Like these are all the ideas that are coming to your head as a composer, as a singer, as a songwriter. You just keep writing and writing and writing, and you're living, you're streaming, you have your YouTube, and all of a sudden 10 years from now, you're just like, 1 million people listen to my song based on my YouTube subscriber, which is 1 million subscribers, for instance. And these people are just liking it, and they're doing it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Exactly. Organic growth. You should not go for I mean, like, the thing that they were doing is super stupid. Just come and, I mean, like, let me tell you one thing. Easy fame, easy money never works. You have to build it. And you should have a vision to build such a thing. You cannot just form something and go ahead and do it. Imagine if you just bring the most billionaire people in one football team. I mean, it's like even teenagers with professional football skill can beat them, right? Not because they're billionaires, they can become a good football player. You know, not because people can sing, they can become a good band. They should train to become a band member first. Like look at the data that they gave us. That the band that they formed, they went out to perform on their own. Like this is a disaster. You brought some people, you never tested their personality, you never knew what were their vision. Like at least 4 of the 7 members of BTS are really, really dedicated band members. Really dedicated band members. The other 3 are kind of like individualists, but they learned how to become a band member. And most importantly, the CEO of big corporations are selfish people, but Bang PD is a tribe-oriented person. He does care about others more than he cares about himself. That's another thing. They have a great leader. They have a very great CEO to think about the band members more than himself. That's a very important, personality criteria. Like I'm a very self-oriented person, but I learned throughout the years that if I ever gonna make a band, it's not about me, it's about them. I should help them, not myself. They're gonna generate money, they're gonna make me, rich. That's okay. That's part of the whole thing. That's part of the whole deal. We're doing media, we're doing, whatever it is there. But the whole story is all about them because they're trying day and night to make my dreams come true. So the whole reputation should go to them. And I get the money. Thank you so much. Thank you for making me rich and making me famous. But all the credit should go to you, not me. Yes, the idea is mine, but my idea without nobody is going to become nothing. But SM Entertainment CEO and Simon Cowell are 2 self-oriented people that I think they did not grow organically themselves as well, and that's kind of like a problem. Yeah. To BTS who have a big phenomenal UN all countries. What language is that? Not English act and not media play. I bet even other groups want to go their own way without getting dragged into this next BTS mess by media. Yeah, definitely. That is maybe true. They should just focus on their music. Yes, I'm telling you. As a musician, you should always do music for music. If you do music for business, it's over. It's over. Game over. You're never going to get there. Such a beautiful video. I already liked it. Thanks a lot for this. A month ago. It came out a month ago. Yeah. There will be no next BTS. Yes. UK pop. How idiot is that? K-pop is just an industry. It's not a name. Why these people don't get it, but doesn't matter, to be honest. Yeah, thanks a lot for the video. It was a very good video to watch. Yeah. Their uniqueness will make them shine with right music in right way. Definitely. Music is the big part. Like, my biggest problem with K-pop is not their look, is not their style, is their music. It's bullshit. Like, the lyrics is awful. Like look at Blackpink. Like, I remember the very first time that I reacted to Blackpink, I was just like, what the hell is this? It's like, this is bad. And people were putting a lot of, bad comments in my comments section that you're an idiot. You don't understand it. These girls are trying so hard to be here. They haven't, released any song in 4 years, and we're here to protect our girls. And I was just like, well, what are you protecting? I was like, this is absolutely awful. Like, at least protect something that matters. Like, Like when people really don't understand what to defend, you should be really offensive. And tell them at least to wake up. Just go search more. You will definitely find better one. Not necessarily BTS. Go out there and find better music. There will be definitely thousands of better music than Blackpink out there. Anyway, sorry for the orthograph. It's because my keyword is in French, so it changes when I write in English. All right. That's why I didn't got it. It's definitely okay. No worries. By the way, I love French. I wish I knew French and you could write French for me and I could read it. But yeah. Are there just models who to music times? Yes. yeah. I remember Cyrus watching people's reaction. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I actually like YG artists a lot back then, since they have a lot of groups with members who were songwriter and producer. But Blackpink disappointed me at being a YG biggest artist, but with no creative freedom. They're just beautiful, to be honest. They're really cool. They're really good looking, beautiful, handsome. Everything is there. But as long as they're representing musical group, I expect them to sound great. I don't care that an artist looks good or not. They're not actors. They're not about to play in a movie or cinema. They should have a very beautiful voice with good music in there. Like if you're just pretty and you're singing very bad song, I don't care. Because mostly when I listen to music, I mean, it's like I'm watching BTS a day and I'm listening to BTS at nights. If they look good, maybe it's just good. It's in the music video, but most of the time I'm on my own listening to BTS on a Spotify. Like I don't see them. I don't care how they look, but I do care that how they sound. I don't care Jimin is beautiful or not. His voice it's beyond imagination. I don't care Jungkook is beautiful or not. I don't care Arm is beautiful or not. That they're good musicians. That's all that matters. Yeah. As Suga said once, one other called them the next Beatles. They didn't say that they're the next BTS. He said that it's an honor to be called as next Beatles, but we want to be the next BTS. Cool, very nice. Yeah, that's a true mindset. It's definitely a true mindset. Calling yourself the next, I want to be next me. Like I want to be me. I want to be me. I want to be me composing and singing. I don't care if I have 100 million fans over the world or I only have 1,000 people just listening to me or even 10 people listening to me. I'm going to keep writing music for that 1,000, for that 10. I don't care if it's 100,000, 100 million. Whoever they are, they're respectful. They're listening to me. They're expecting me to produce music because they like my taste. So here I am. And all of a sudden you just go out there, you perform, and I don't know. 1 billion people gonna like you. Good for you. There's nothing there to be jealous about. There's nothing there to be worried about. Just do music for music. Like Jin said, the meal should be good if it looks good. It's just a plus. Yeah, that's true. They're only interpreters. They do not write. They produce. They sing. How can they call themselves artists? Now, they're artists if they just only perform. Yes, if you perform, you're artist. If you produce, you're a musician. Your artist is about the person who perform art. Yeah. If you're creating art, your name is different. For instance, Picasso wasn't an artist. Yes, he was an artist, plus he was a painter. Beatles was a musical band. Like John Lennon was a musician. Yes, also he was an artist, but he was a musician. Yeah, if you're performing art, you're an artist. If you're performing art and you're so genuine, you're an actor and an artist. So artist is a thing that we call people who perform art. Yeah. They're not musicians. They're just artists. They're just performers. Yes. All right, guys. So excuse me for 10 minutes. I want to go and prepare something for myself to eat. And then we'll get back here and we will start watching Run BTS episode 63.